What's up, you guys? Hey, hey. First of all, let me apologize for being late. Okay, so here's why the live was late. First of all, why didn't any of y'all tell me that the live was scheduled for September the 6th instead of September the 16th? That's number one. I blame you, CC Freak. I blame you. Number two, for some reason, my DVR wasn't recording it. So I thought it was recording and it wasn't. So I kind of had to like go back to the beginning and then I had to sit through the commercials. So my apologies that I'm late. Third thing before we get started is I owe y'all an apology. Well, I just apologize, but I owe y'all an apology for something else. Y'all tried to tell me, Really B, finish the season. Really B, go back. Really B, it's such a good season. Y'all did. Y'all tried to tell me ever since last season. Y'all kept telling me, Really B, do it. Do it. Go back. Thank you, Quake. Go back. And I went. So today, that's why I didn't do a tribe meeting because I was trying to get caught up. Baby, I was almost there. I made it. I almost made it because I'm at the Porter Vallarta, wherever they went. So I'm almost finished with the last season. That's another reason why I was late because I thought it was recording and I was like, oh, I want to get this last little bit in. Anyway, so the premiere for season 6 was tonight. Okay. I see y'all in the chat saying it was a good season. It was a good premiere. It was a good premiere. I see a 10 out of 10. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you and tell you I enjoyed the premiere. I did. I enjoyed the premiere. And like I said, I wish I had done what y'all told me to do. Okay. Because I had some thoughts about some episodes from last season. Now I do wish I kept reviewing it. Because baby, I had some things to say about some stuff. But we're not gonna go backwards. All I'm gonna say is Angie is a lie. She's irritating as hell. And Brittany is, why are you here? This whole episode, all I kept saying was, Brittany, why are you here? Why are you here, Brittany? And you haven't. We're gonna get to it. Mary and Meredith had me hollering at delusional. Baby, let me tell you something. See, y'all gonna make me jump ahead. But let me tell you something. When Brittany tried to say her and Meredith were friends, and Meredith was like, girl, we were never friends. She was like, have I ever talked to you on the phone? Brittany gonna say, yeah. Meredith was like, how many times? One. Here go Brittany. Twice. Baby, the way Bronwyn cackle is me. Okay? The way I would have cackled when your ass had to say, well, I talked to you twice. Girl, twice. Twice on the phone, a friendship does not make. Moving right along, child. So the season premiere starts off with, we have this big old RV coming around the corner and parking in front of Mary's house, right? And Angie ends up coming out of the RV. Now, Angie said that her and her family have an RV, and so she does know how to drive an RV. I'm gonna say this. I believe that Angie drove that RV down the hill. And I believe that Angie drove that RV around the corner into the parking lot of Beauty Lab. But I don't think Angie drove it more than that. Now, do I think she has the capability of driving an RV? Probably. My mama can drive an RV. I told you, for those who don't know, baby, I grew up camping. We had a camper my whole life. Like before I can even remember, we had a camper, right? And then when I was in college, maybe high school. No, it wasn't high school. When I was in college, my parents bought a motorhome. I think I asked them at one point. I just don't remember what the answer was. But my parents drove a motorhome. I mean, my parents had a motorhome. So my mother knows how to drive a camper. She knows how to drive a truck with a camper hooked onto it. And my mother knows how to drive an RV. But 99.9% of the time, baby, my daddy drove it. Okay. It's funny because one game I play with my students, like for icebreakers at the beginning of the year, I always play 2 truths and a lie, right? And one of the 2 truths and a lie I say to them is, by the time I graduated from high school, I had visited almost, no, I say by the time I was in 9th grade, I had visited almost all 50 states, but never been in an airplane. And of course, my students always say that that's false. They always think that's the lie, but it's not. Me and my family, one summer, we literally went cross country, and we've gone north to south on the East Coast. I've been to Disney World 3 times in an RV. You know what I mean? And then one year we went to California, and going to California, we went through the north, and coming back, we went through the south. So literally by the end of that trip, my foot had touched down in almost all 48 of the continental US. I think we were only missing like 2 or 3 states. And at this point, my foot has touched down in every state except for Alaska. Yep. So anyway, that's me. Let's get into it. So I was here for the RV because I know more than, listen, let me tell you something about these modern RVs. This is what people don't understand about these modern RVs. Baby, these modern RVs have everything that you saw them seats, those leather seats, those recliners with the cup holders and stuff. Now that's my only complaint. The only complaint I have about Salt Lake City is, why do they always film in the winter? And I understand that Salt Lake City has a lot of, that it's cold and it has a lot, but why do they always film in the winter? I'm just like, but let me tell you about them RVs, baby. Them RVs have everything you need. They got Wi-Fi. I remember when my father first got in the camper, when they first got DirecTV, and every time we went somewhere, they would they put that satellite dish out and connect it. We could get all our cable channels, honey. We had the cable hooked up. I remember microwave, dishwasher, like if you name it, we had it in the RV. And of course, it's just like a car. When you get a new one, of course, it has all the newer amenities and stuff. I remember when we were in maybe middle school, my parents we got a new camper, and baby, the big thing was it had that surround sound, honey. We could listen to the radio in the front and in the back, honey. Child, we thought we was doing something. Anyway, child, let me get off of this. So they're doing this whole, now let me say this. I'm gonna be honest. I thought this was gonna be like a whole glamping thing. And I was here for the glamping. I really felt like once they got to the campground, it was going to be like, oh, yeah, this is where the RVs park, but we're staying at one of the cabins. And it was going to be like this really nice cabin situation. So far, that has not happened. But the ladies, so they pull up at Beauty Lab. And of course, the ladies are standing around in their fur coats. And Angie sent out this invitation that had like bikinis and airplanes and all this other stuff on it. So the ladies were like, we really don't know where we're going. Now, here's what I believe to be true. I believe that production gave them enough of a heads up that they packed appropriately and they didn't have 20,000 suitcases. Because normally these ladies, even if it is only an overnight trip, normally these ladies be having 20 suitcases and all these other extra accessories. Because there isn't a lot of stores now. I'm going to tell y'all that. Once all them people are on there, there isn't. Well, there is, but there isn't. Baby, they ain't have room to be taking 20,000 suitcases. Okay, so I feel like they told them that they were going an hour to 2 hours away. They were only going overnight and don't overpack. Like, I feel like they gave them that much of a heads up. But why the fuck was Brittany in a bikini? And a business suit? Like, the combination was crazy to me. Like Heather said, like, girl, unless you were going on a business trip to the beach, or however Heather said it. Girl, Brittany, what is wrong with, again, why are you here? Ma'am, why are you here? And let me tell you why Brittany is going to get on our nerves this season. Brittany is going to get on every single one of our nerves this season, and here's why. Because Brittany is dealing with season 2 itis, okay? She's dealing with season 2 itis. Now, you guys know how this works on these reality shows, right? Y'all know how it works on these reality shows. They film that first season. they see themselves, they see the reaction, they read social media, and then they decide how they want to present for season 2. And it's clear that Brittany has decided that she has aligned herself with Lisa, right? You know what, Auntie? I don't know. But she's aligned herself with Lisa, and she also knows that when these scenes play back, Lisa is going to see who said what, who defended her, and who didn't defend her. So I feel like Brittany went overboard to defend Lisa and just put herself in a situation that didn't have shit to do with her. So when they get on, okay, so first of all, Whitney has this lame joke where she has the strippers show up and she sort of reenacts the whole Jen Shaw thing with the SWAT team surrounding them. Like, first of all, raise your hand if y'all already knew that was a prank and you knew that it was probably Whitney that did it. Before they even called Whitney's name, I said, this is some Whitney shit right here. Because Whitney and Lisa is always, Whitney and Heather are always ready to pull these dumbass pranks. And so I just knew, I was like, okay, they're strippers. And I'm with Mary. I'm with Angie on that one. Like, it's kind of hard to get into it when they look like they're young enough to be your son. Baby. And Mary was like, no, just no. No. JB said, I didn't know what it was. Listen, I knew it was scrippers. I knew they was the scrippers. So they get on the bus. Allegedly, the rumor was why Lisa wasn't on the RV because she's still talking about her what? Her paid? Auntie, I don't know what that means. She's still talking about her paid. I don't know what that means. Tell me what you're saying, baby. So Lisa is the only one that's not there. So immediately everybody starts discussing, why isn't Lisa here? Why didn't Lisa come? Why? So here's the reality of the situation. And I hate to do this. She was in talks about her salary. Yeah, I heard that too. Okay, I understand what you're saying now. Yeah. I heard that as well. So here's the thing, y'all. Immediately, this is how it goes. These conversations are going to always surround the person who's not there. That's an easy alley-oop. The easy alley-oop is to talk about the person who's not there. Now, Lisa made it easy because Lisa's got all this stuff going on with these lawsuits and things of that nature against her, going on or whatever. So Lisa made it easy for herself to be talked about. And of course, what's predictable is the people who don't F with Lisa are going to have something negative to say. And the people who do F with Lisa are going to either not say anything or they're going to defend it. Here's where, and Heather, girl, I be trying with you every fucking season. I really be trying with you, Heather Gay. I do. But here's the shit that Heather does that gets on my fucking nerves. Girl, why are you sitting there acting like you don't know what they talking about? Girl, they literally said it was in the Salt Lake City Tribune. It was literally in the paper. They showed us the headlines. You knew. Now, you could have done what Meredith did. Meredith just sat there on mute, baby. Meredith ain't had nothing to say. Meredith just didn't say nothing. Mary didn't say nothing. Mary didn't say nothing until Browyn was like, girl, it was in the paper. And Mary was like, yeah, it was in the paper. Like, girl, it was in the paper. But girl, you could have just not said nothing. For you to be like, I didn't know anything about this. Who knew? You knew? You knew too? Oh my gosh. So everybody knew but me? Heather, stop. You too fucking nosy. Heather, out of all of them, Heather, you are the nosiest person out of all of them. You want all the tea. And I'm okay with that because I do too. But the difference is I stand in that shit. I'll be like, JB, what? What happened? Give it to me. Tell me all of it. I won't tell nobody. I just want to know. I won't repeat the shit. I just want to know for my damn self. Okay? So my thing is, that irritates me about you, Heather, because it's okay to be like, look, I've worked a long time to get in a good space with Lisa, and I'm not trying to be on Lisa's hit list. To be clear, you ain't gonna be on Lisa's hit list in this one. But for you to sit there and act like you did not know, that would piss me off more than somebody said they're not defending me. And I feel like and then Angie asked, Brodwin acting like, oh my gosh, she's so worried about what I'm doing and the jewelry that I have or don't have. And here she is. She got all these lawsuits all over the place. And then Angie asked, going to say, I mean, it's like Jen Shah. Girl, how sway? At the end of the day, Lisa might not be paying these people their money back. I don't know. I haven't read through the lawsuits. I mean, I read what y'all read, but I haven't actually read the lawsuit, and I haven't followed it. So I don't know what the hell is really going on with Lisa and her lawsuits. But at the end of the day, girl, it is not just Shaw. Like Meredith said, baby, the FBI, the CIA, Homeland Security, the Southern District of New York are not knocking on Lisa Barlow's door. Now, Bank of America and Wells Fargo might be knocking on her door. But baby, the po-po are not there. It's like, girl, what are you doing? You're just doing too fucking much. And then here go Brittany. You had to take it a step too far. Now you want to attack Whitney and start talking about all the stuff that's all over the internet with Whitney. Now listen, Whitney irritates my soul all day long. I'm gonna tell y'all that now, because Whitney reminds me very much of Ashley Darby with the whole "I'ma carry your bones, stand in your shit." She decides that she gonna make everybody be honest and tell everybody their business, right? And she thinks that because and one thing about Whitney thinks that because she's willing to tell her business, that everybody else is supposed to just be okay with telling all of their business when Whitney decides they're supposed to tell it. But one thing I will say about Whitney, baby, you don't want to push Whitney in the corner because she's going to come out swinging. And baby, you pushed Whitney and you tried to throw that shit back at Whitney, and baby, Whitney hit that boomerang right back at you and started talking about, well, girl, what job do you have? I mean, is your job to suck Jared's dick? Is that your job? Baby, when Whitney said, and what is your job? That's when, Brittany, you should have aborted mission. She was letting you know, the minute she said, what is your job? You should have known where she was going. You should have known which direction that missile was headed, okay? And you should have aborted mission, but you didn't. You doubled down. So Whitney hit you with is your job to suck Jared's dick? Bitch. I didn't have nothing more for that. I was like, Brittany, let it go. Let it go. Okay. But anyway, they said that there's a bunch of lawsuits against Lisa Child. Anyway, so they get to the campground, and this is when I realized, oh, they serious about this. Baby, they pulled them people in. Now, again, I've been camping my whole life. I have seen some great campgrounds in my life. Like, I have seen some campgrounds that are mini resorts. I mean, I've seen campgrounds that have water parks. I have seen campgrounds I've seen themed campgrounds. There's a campground in South Dakota, right outside of Mount Rushmore. That is, now this was years ago, so it might be closed by now. I mean, this was when I was in like the 8th grade. So that that was a long time ago. And it was a Flintstone themed campground. And everything looked like the Flintstones. Even the golf carts that rode around looked like they were decorated to look like the cars on the Flintstones, right? So I have seen the best of the best, but baby, I have seen the worst of the worst. Okay, we have seen some campgrounds that we pulled in, and my parents was like, "Oh yeah, no, we're not staying here. No, that's." And this was before internet. This is before you could go online and just book you something else, baby. My mama had to pull over, and they had to go. It was this big old thick book full of, they had, just like they had the yellow pages back in the day, they used to have these big old thick camping books that had like all the campgrounds in the United States listed, just like the white pages, or the yellow pages, and they would have 2 or 3 of those different books, okay? This is before you could go online and you could look up a Yelp review and see if they telling the lies or telling the truth, okay? You only had to go by word of mouth. And who knew who and who knew what. And sometimes, baby, you just it was just shooting fish in a barrel sometimes. You just didn't know what you was gonna get, okay? And there were a couple of times that we pulled into some campgrounds, baby, and my daddy was like, we ain't no reverse on this. And also remember too, we were generally the only ones in the campground. I remember we would see this turning into a whole story time about me. This ain't about me. But I remember we were put into a campground, and if we saw another black family, baby, we was like, yeah, it's another black family here. Oh my gosh, it's another black family. And baby, we could not get out of the camper fast enough and go knock on them people's door and be like, find out if they had any kids. You got any kids my age? Can we go to the pool together? Can we go to the game room? Child. Anyway, used to be a KOA next to me back in the day. Yeah, now KOA was like the equivalent of, I can't say that because KOA means Campgrounds of America, right? And they were a franchise. So they were like, well, they are because they still exist, but they were a franchise. So you had to agree to certain things, like you would like you would get a McDonald's franchise. Now you could do certain things to make your McDonald's special or add to it or take it away, but there were certain things that were basics of a KOA. And so yeah, KOA, we stayed at a lot of KOAs. Sure did. And like I said, we stayed at some really nice ones and we stayed at some really basic ones. But anyway, moving right along, child. Don't let me tell no more stories about the camping. I could do a story time about that, but I really enjoyed this part of the episode because, again, and I think for the most part, I think the ladies were good sports about it. I mean, I'm sure they complained a little bit or whatever, but for the most part, they rolled with it. So they get to the campground. Now, here's where I'm looking at you a little bit, Bravo. Bravo, I'm looking at you a little bit. When them ladies first got out that van, got out that RV, it was muddy, but I did not see no snow. Did y'all see snow? It was muddy. Then when they went over to the picnic table, why was all that snow over there by the picnic table? You know, Auntie, maybe no, I've seen KOAs. I've seen signs for KOAs as I'm driving. Maybe they're not as popular as they used to be, but I feel like I've seen, I could be wrong. I feel like I've seen KOA signs in different places, but y'all, is it me or did y'all not see snow when they first got out the RV, but then they went over to that picnic table to eat lunch and there was snow everywhere? But then later on that night, when they were sitting by that campfire, it was no snow. It was clean as a whistle. That fire pit was clean as a whistle. Am I the only one that noticed that? Am I tripping? And when I say no snow, I know that there was snow there. I mean, right there where, like in that area where they were camping. Am I the only one that noticed that there was snow, then there wasn't snow, then it was okay, it's just me. All right, cool. They have KOAs in Charleston and Myrtle Beach. Yeah, I know I've seen some. I think it's some in North Carolina. I feel like I've seen a sign, and I'm almost certain when I drive to Detroit, I've seen signs. Hey, Lauren, what's up, y'all? So that's when they had the argument about Lisa, and then Brittany gonna stand up talking about, I have an announcement. And this is what I mean when I say, Brittany, you watched the last season and now you feel like that's your shtick now. Your shtick is, I have an announcement, and then you say something stupid. So you stand up to make an announcement to tell everybody that you and Jared are engaged. Crickets. Then you say, oh, but we're unengaged. Yeah, we broke off the engagement 2 weeks later, because the kids just weren't on board with it, and we wanted our kids to be a part of it, and they just weren't on board with it. Hey, Brittany, didn't you tell us last season your kids wasn't speaking to you because of the way you handled your first and second marriage? Didn't you tell us that? So your daughter's not speaking to you goes beyond Jared. They already wasn't speaking to you, girl. Which means that you knew they weren't speaking to you, and you knew they weren't happy about Jared before you agreed to marry him. So for you to get unengaged 2 weeks later, like, what did you think? You thought they would change their mind because he put a ring on it? You thought they'd be like, oh, well, now that you're engaged, we're good. Girl, you told us last season your girls wasn't effing with you because of your choices in men. So then, messy ass Whitney, she gonna say, well, are y'all still seeing each other? And Brittany was like, yeah, we're still dating. Yeah. Whitney was like, Whitney knows she messy as fuck. Whitney gonna say, oh, because I see him at the gym all the time. And he don't act like he's single. I mean, he don't act like he dating. He act like he's single. She had a nerve to say this man be taking dates down to the gym cafe. Girl, I got questions. I got a couple of questions. Question number one, who is going to the gym to go on a date? And I understand that it's probably a fancy gym with all of those amenities. It's probably got a juice bar. It's probably got all of these extra, things going on. I'm sure it's a high-end gym. But that doesn't change what I'm saying. Unless we are both gym rats and we work out together like Trish and Ken type shit, why are we going to the cafe at the gym on a date? Now, like JB said, I believe it. Maybe he's doing it to avoid being seen in public. Maybe he felt like down to the gym he could get away with it because it'll just look like, a gym situation and not a date situation. But baby, listen, if you got to do all of that to date so that your Brittany don't find out, or as a woman, if a man got to take you to the gym to avoid being seen in public, we would have bigger problems. You see couples in the gym all the time. That's a thing. That's a thing. Having a date at the gym. I'm not talking about working out together. I'm talking about meet me at the gym so we can go to the cafe and have some coffee. That's a thing. Now again, working out together, yes, I see couples do that all the time. But I didn't know that it was a thing to go on a date to the gym. No, absolutely not. And maybe I'm just too fat. But that is not my idea of a good time. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm going to tell you now, don't invite me on no date to the gym. I don't give a fuck. I don't even care if I told you I'm going to the gym more often because I'm trying to lose weight. Don't say, well, I think that's a good idea. Why don't we meet down there and have, no. Mm-mm. Not on no date. Anyway, Ready to Love do it. But that's different, child. That's a TV show. They film it, child. That's But don't, It's like going hiking, I guess. No, it's not. To me, it's not. Let me say that. If we're going out to eat, take me to a restaurant. Again, I don't care how nice your gym is. Don't invite me to your gym to go eat. Invite me to a restaurant. Now, if we are working out, I don't have a problem with that. If I say let's go for a hike, yes, that is a date. But a eating date at a gym for me, no ma'am, no bueno. Now again, if me and you are dating, we're already a couple, it's already a thing, and we are working out together and we decide to grab a sandwich, different conversation. But baby, don't meet me and be like, let's go on a date. Meet me down to the, no. Absolutely not. No. Now, you invite me to the gym to work out, that's a different conversation. If you invite me to go hiking or play tennis or pickleball, yeah. But if you invite me to go eat, we're going to a restaurant. Sorry. I know y'all like to call me bougie, so maybe that's a bougie thing. Quake, you say I like gym dates. You like gym dates to go eat? Anyway, let me keep going. So Angie has activities for these ladies. Now, first of all, this trip was supposed to be Angie and Mary. Baby, Mary tapped out. Mary was like, girl, I thought we was just going to ride the camper to the cabin. I didn't know we was actually going to be out here in nature and cooking on the open fire and sleeping in the RV. Girl, I thought we was just doing, I thought the RV was a prop, okay? Once Mary realized that this was the real deal, baby, Mary was like, take my name off this. This not me. Now, I did see that Angie says she redeems herself because she does take the ladies to Greece later on in the season. So she does redeem herself. But baby, okay. Baby Mary is absolutely comedy. We eat afterwards. Again, Quake, to me, that's different. We working out, and then, of course, we're going to sit down and, yeah, that's different. Anyway, child, do what makes y'all happy. All right, different strokes for different folks, child. So, Mary, Meredith, Brittany, and Angie, they go fishing, fly fishing. And then Bronwyn, Heather, and Whitney, they go kayaking. So Heather and Bronwyn bond over the kayaking experience. That's gonna last about 5 minutes, but for right now, okay, they done bonded. And then the ladies will fly fishing. Listen, let me explain something to y'all about fishing. Fishing is an acquired taste. I mean, just like anything else, fishing is an acquired taste. My daddy likes to fish. My sister likes to fish. My sister and my daddy, they bond over fishing. I do not. If I go on a fishing trip, I'm taking a book and I'm sitting on the back of the boat and I'm going to read my book while y'all fish. Not my idea of a good time. Now, I like being on the boat, but I'm not fishing. So when we go places, my sister and my daddy, they go on fishing trips all the time. Me and my mama, we do not. We wait to see what y'all bring home to what we gonna eat for dinner. Okay. So I was with Meredith when she kept asking, so how long does this take? Because I feel like the cameras wanted to get footage of them catching at least one fish. So I feel like in Meredith's head, if one of us catch a fucking fish, we can get the shot and we can go sit down somewhere. Okay. I was with Meredith. Right, Quake. See, Quake, you seem like an outdoorsy girl. You like doing gym dates, you like fishing, you like hiking. I feel like you're that and I'm here for that. I love you for that. That's not me. That's not me. Really be is saying don't go to the gym for the sole purpose of a meal, y'all. It's different when you get to work. Yeah. Thank you, Lauren. That's what I'm saying. Now I'm not cooking the fish either. Well, y'all know I ain't cooking nothing. I'm not cooking the fish. I might do the sides. And I hope y'all heard the word might. I might husk some corn, put it on the grill some corn on the cob. I might make some tartar sauce. Mix it up. Baby, when Mary kept calling that man Gusty and he kept saying Dusty, Meredith be doing shit on purpose, I believe, but it's funny. Like, it's not, it doesn't feel forced. It is funny. Baby, she said, what's your name? He said, Dusty. Gusty, Dusty, Gusty, Dusty. And notice he just let her have it. After the third time of her saying Gusty, baby, he just let her have it. He was like, I'm Gusty today. Child. Mary is hilarious. Do you hear me? So then the ladies come back and they have to cook their own dinner, which again, I was a Girl Scout. I have cooked outdoors before. I have eaten my own food that I've cooked outdoors before. And I've cooked everything from scrambled eggs and pancakes, to normal campfire food, okay? And we always have a good s'more at the end. So I'm not even mad about the outdoor cooking. Here's what I'm mad about. Angie, how the fuck did you forget everything? Listen, if anybody, and I do mean anybody, there are 60 of y'all in here right now. Everybody in here, I'm gonna just go on and say it because somebody gonna say not me, but I don't give a damn. I'm gonna say all of y'all, all 60 of y'all. We have all had to shop for a cookout, whether it was our own or we said we bringing something to somebody else's. We have all gone to the grocery store to pick up something for a damn cookout. Let me explain something. There are basic shit you buy. If you gonna buy hot dogs, you need hot dog buns. If you gonna buy hamburgers, you need hamburger buns. And you need the condiments to go with it. If you don't buy shit else, you buy hot dog. You buy ketchup and mustard. Give me a little relish. Some people might have want a little mayo. Then you hit the corner, you go down through the produce, you go down to the dairy section and you get you some cheese in case people want cheeseburgers. Okay. There are bare minimums that you pick up when you know your ass is gonna be cooking cooking outside. Listen, and most of the time, all that shit is together. How the fuck you remember hot dogs, but you didn't buy no hot dog buns, Angie? And then when the people was asking for the shit, you sat there and got indignant as if they was wrong for asking for some damn ketchup. Had them people eating hot dogs off of a goddamn stick. Now look, Angie, and that's why I know production must have told them something because they were good sports. Now I will say this. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Lisa was not there. Y'all already know if Lisa had been there, this would have been a whole different trip. This would have been a whole different version of this trip if Lisa had been there. Because Lisa would have complained about every fucking thing. Everything Lisa would have complained about. Everything. And I do think that generally speaking, Heather and Whitney are generally good sports and just kind of go along with the bullshit, right? Meredith, she was there. You could tell she wasn't really feeling it, but she was like, all right, it is what it is, right? Brittany just happy to fucking be there. Brawin just happy to fucking be there, right? We would have heard, yeah, Lisa probably would have left and went and got a hotel room somewhere, child. Like Lisa just would have been unbearable. But for the most part, they were going along with to get along. But Angie, you fucked up the dinner. You had Mary over there eating fucking dry ass bagels. Listen, I love me a good bagel. I'm a bagel kind of girl. Now, I'm not a bagel and sour cream. I like butter. Just let me toast the bagel with a little butter on it. I'm happy. Maybe even some jelly, depending on my mood, right? I like me a good a good bagel. But there is nothing, and I do mean nothing, in this world drier than a plain ass bagel. If you have ever, maybe out of desperate, maybe you were just too damn hungry, if you have ever bitten into a plain bagel that you didn't even slice, you just bit off the side, that is the driest shit you will ever eat. So, Mary, I understood your level of desperate in that moment. Mary said, I'm not doing this shit. She said, I'm not doing this. I'm gonna eat this damn dry ass bagel and probably drink me some wine, and I'm gonna make it do what it do. So the ladies end up getting into a damn argument where they bring up the point that basically this would be going a different way if Lisa were there. And once again, they have to bring up how Heather be kissing Lisa's ass, right? And Heather was like, girl, listen. You were thirsty as hell watching the scene, child. Let me look at my notes. Let me make sure I included everything I want to say in my notes. Okay, yeah. Okay, got that. Okay, yeah. Brawin. Oh, the camcorders were cute. I did like that. Brittany, the best thing you did was bring them camcorders, although I feel like production gave you them camcorders. But anyway, because number one, I don't even think you can afford to buy 10 camcorders. sorry, not sorry. I honestly do not think that Brittany, one, thought that far ahead to buy camcorders for all the girls. And two, I don't think she got that kind of money. I mean, if y'all disagree, put it in the chat. But I thought they were cute. I did. I like the camcorder. I might have to look that up and see how much those things cost, because I think that's a cute idea. Because I'm sure it's camcorder with a twist where you can plug it into your computer, download everything, and make reels out of it and put it on. I'm sure I'm sure it's all high end. Because baby, I remember camcorders back in the day, and I remember when them big ass camcorders. So I was here for it. I thought that was really, really cute. Okay. Brittany engaged. Okay, Whitney and Brittany. Okay. So they get into it. So Heather and Whitney, they get into the whole Lisa of it all again. And how Brittany would be asking, damn it, y'all know who I'm talking about. Heather would be acting different if Lisa were there. And, of course, Heather is defending herself. Something else happened. And then here come Brittany ass. Girl, you weren't even in this conversation. Nobody was talking to or about you. You had no parts of this conversation. You insert yourself once again and proceed to talk about what Whitney said about you. They were talking about Whitney bringing up Lisa's business and why was it necessary for Whitney to bring up what Lisa got going on. And Brittany gonna say, but girl, you said what you said about me. And Whitney was like, what? And Heather was like, girl, read the room. First of all, nobody's even talking about you. We're talking about something totally different right now. And now you want to turn the tide and try to make this conversation about you. So here we go. We flipping it around. And I've done this before because I don't have a gatekeeper, right? A lot of times, especially when I was younger, whatever I was thinking came out, and it got me in a lot of trouble. And I've been embarrassed more than once by saying something without thinking, just letting shit come out my mouth and not thinking, right? Brittany, that was you in this moment, because the way Whitney Uno reversed on your ass for the second time in one day, when you tried to come at Whitney and Whitney was like, girl, you came for my business. And at the end of the day, you know what? I felt some kind of way because I've lost my business. I put everything into that business. My husband put everything into that business. We invested and we lost it and we are broke. So you're right. I felt some kind of way about you throwing my business out there and trying to flip the whole situation. I did. I felt some kind of way about it because right now I'm dealing with the fact that we failed. I failed. She said, I had to fire 30 employees. That don't make me feel good. Baby, the way Brittany's face was cracked and laying on that ground, the way that the rest of them ladies rallied around Whitney, and what Heather said, and again, I know Diddy probably ain't the person we should be quoting these days, but I will always remember Diddy saying this. He said, people don't post about their failures. He was like, most entrepreneurs have failed more times than they've succeeded. It's just that one success is the success. And Heather said that. Heather said, listen, I failed at many businesses before Beauty Lab. Like, we don't talk about the failures. We talk about the success because that's what we want people to know. But we don't talk about all the times that it didn't work, all the times that we effed it up. And so they all rallying around Whitney, they're like, Whitney, it's okay. And, Whitney over there crying. And Brittany gonna go over there and hug her. Baby, look. The restraint that Whitney showed in that moment, because you saw the look on her face. She was like, she literally stopped talking and was like, girl, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for a hug. Like, don't come over here trying to hug me. Don't do that. Then Brittany is going to say, but I still feel like you owe me an apology for saying I'd be sucking. Girl, read the fucking room. This damn camera. Read the room, girl. Read the room. The fact that your ass is still expecting a damn apology, girl. If you don't go sit your ass down somewhere, thinking you're gonna get an apology for what? I mean, and Whitney even said, "Look, girl, I was wrong for saying you was sucking that man peen. I'm sorry, I was wrong." Brittany, go sit down somewhere. If you're gonna do this all season, I can't. Listen, I can't do that. If you're gonna do this all season, Brittany, it's gonna be a long season for me and you. A long one. Okay? A long one. Then Heather decides that she want to run around the fucking woods at night. Because there's some legend of this lady who wants to get revenge on all the girls that go into the woods and have sex. I don't know. Whatever. Let me be clear. Once again, as somebody who has spent a lot of time in the woods between Girl Scout camp, camping with my family, my parents used to send me to overnight camp every year. Child, I spent a lot of time outdoors, okay? And I have heard all of the legends. There's always a legend in some woods about somebody doing something, okay? There's always one, okay? There's always the legend, okay? Let me explain something. I have to admit, as black as I am, I have run around the woods at night by not by myself, but with my friends. We've done it. As an adult, not proud to admit that I was a cliche. Okay, we ran around them damn woods with our little flashlights as kids. I don't know what the hell was in the woods. Okay, we probably ran into all kinds of shit in them woods. Okay, we probably, but for the grace of God, avoided. I ain't even gonna say people. We probably avoided snakes. We probably avoided animals that could, predator type animals. Hell, we might have even avoided like a dip where we would have fell into the ditch and broke our ankle or something. Baby, but for the grace of God. So I ain't even gonna make the cliche jokes about the black people running through the woods. Cause listen, I've been that person. I could call some of my friends right now and we could talk about some stories about us camping and just being in the woods doing dumb shit. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. So I ain't even gonna make the joke because I think Mary was cool with it because she knew that them cameras was following them. Because as an adult, because see, kids, our ignorance protects us sometimes as kids, right? Our ignorance protects us. Hey, Jonathan, how have you been, my love? I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? And as a kid, the things I did as a kid, I would never do as an adult. So honestly, if it wasn't for a paycheck, I wouldn't be running through nobody's goddamn woods. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the fact that you got all them damn cameras following y'all, I'm okay with it. And I know they tried to make it look like they were all just on their camcorders. Child, them cameras was there. Jason Voorhees and them. Yes! And listen, like I said, I ain't even gonna sit here and pretend like I ain't never ran through the woods. So that's how the episode ends, child. The episode ends with them ladies running through the damn woods and they trying to make us feel like Meredith is in some sort of trouble. I think the most trouble that Meredith might be in is maybe she done hurt her ankle or something, or maybe, I don't know. But child, y'all know good and daggone well ain't nothing wrong with them ladies. But honestly, that was the episode, you guys. Let me make sure I said everything that's in my notes, honey. Okay, I think I covered pretty much everything. But it was a good episode. It was definitely a pretty good premiere. I'm excited about the season. Really be all subject. There's a series called Scam Goddess on the Freeform Network. Episode 4 of season 1 features the story of Bishop Whitehead. I think somebody told me that. I feel like somebody told me that, Vintage. I had to go watch it. Baby Mary in that fish, and then she gonna tell that man he lying about bringing the fish back to life. Ma'am, you gonna give CPR to the fish. Mary is just funny. And I think now that she's and I think this is really who she is. I think that season 1 and season 2, she was putting a little bit extra on it. Maybe she was trying to protect, her husband and the church type stuff, that whole scandal of it all. So I think that but baby, I think this is who Mary is. I think she's very quirky, but I also think she's funny. Like, she has that dry sense of humor, that funny. And Mary know the shit she be saying is funny. Like, girl, doing resuscitation on a damn fish is silly. It's hilarious. But the way she delivers it is just fucking funny. She's hilarious to me. I love Mary. I do. I love Mary. I was up and down with Mary season 1 because I wanted to like her, but then there were times when she got on my nerves. But ultimately, I love Mary. I do. I really do. I get why Mary is on guard considering she lives in Utah. Yeah. Mary comes up with just anything to say, but it's memorable. Right. It's funny. Like, it's hilarious. So we'll see how this season goes. I guess next week is part 2 of them at the woods. I mean, they're literally only there overnight, so I'm sure the whole episode isn't them at the woods. And we'll see how this season goes. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.